You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. We begin with some breaking news, taking a live look right now up on the rims up at Swords Park. And you can see a lot of fire trucks and police there. First responders are rappelling down the rims near Swords Park for a rescue that started about 15 minutes ago. Billings police, firefighters, and ambulance can be seen there on the scene. Details are pretty thin right now as to what happened, whether this person fell, whether the individual is injured or not. We'll stay on top of this developing story. We'll have more coming up tonight at 10 on Q2. Well, Governor Steve Bullock announced today that Montana will start the next phase of its reopening from COVID-19 related shutdowns on June 1st. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has a closer look at what will change in phase 2.
Governor Steve Bullock said Tuesday that Montana remains in a better position than many other states when it comes to COVID-19, and that allows leaders to begin planning for the second phase of reopening the state. Bullock says phase 2 will start on June 1st, just under 2 weeks away. That means restaurants, bars, breweries, and casinos can operate at 75% capacity, with social distancing still in place. Gatherings of up to 50 people will be allowed instead of 10. Even larger groups may be possible if distancing can be maintained and public health leaders agree. In addition, Bullock announced Montana will lift the 14-day quarantine that has been required for visitors coming from other states. He says the state will employ a robust public health plan in tourist communities, including surveillance testing for COVID-19. Bullock said the success of the reopening will depend on residents and visitors alike continuing to follow health precautions.
Look, every step that we take beyond a stay-at-home order and closing down all businesses indeed presents risk of more transmission. I certainly expect out-of-state visitors to take this seriously as Montanans have.
Earlier in the day, Bullock toured a state stockpile in Helena, which currently includes hundreds of thousands of N95 masks, other personal protective equipment, and COVID-19 testing kits. He said these supplies will be crucial as Montana continues to open up.
By and large, compared to where we were even 6 weeks ago, we're in a great position, and we're prepared to keep our healthcare providers and first responders equipped all throughout COVID-19.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
The governor said the health precautions he's asking all Montanans and visitors to follow must be part of a new normal in the state. Well, just following the governor's news conference this afternoon, Ravalli County health officials reported that 6 of 9 pending tests have been confirmed positive for COVID-19. This news comes after one person had tested positive for the coronavirus on Sunday. These new cases are being classified as a cluster outbreak, which means the individuals identified as all male were together. An early investigation indicates travel has played a role. The first case is currently hospitalized while the other 6 are isolated at home. Public health officials in Ravalli County have placed more than 30 identified contacts in quarantine. There are currently 7 active cases in Ravalli County. Earlier in the day, the state did report 1 new positive case right here in Yellowstone County. State health officials also say 3 more people have recovered from the virus. In Wyoming, there are 6 more COVID-19 cases reported tonight. We have learned that tonight there are 9 previous positive cases that have now been traced back to Worland Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center, which is a long-term care facility. 5 of those cases are staff members, while the other 4 are residents. Now, there are more results pending. Wyoming still has the lowest coronavirus death count in the nation at 10. Swimming pools are on Steve Bullock's list of facilities that can open on June 1st, although at 75% of their capacity. The Oasis Water Park and the Billings Heights plans to open about that time was holding lifeguard training for staff today. According to the water park's website, cleaning and sanitation will be increased, and patrons will be encouraged to practice social distancing while buying tickets or using public spaces. According to the Centers for Disease Control, there is not evidence that COVID-19 has spread through pool water. Billings Park and Rec employees say city pools are expected to open on time, which is June 3rd. Q2's Mitchell Legge will have more on that story coming up tonight at 10 on Q2. Well, despite today's announcement that Montana will soon move to phase 2, Cascade County commissioners have decided to cancel the Montana State Fair in Great Falls. The fair was scheduled to run from July 24th through August 1st at Montana Expo Park. The cancellation of the state fair just adds to scores of summer events across Montana that have already been canceled due to restrictions.
You know, it would be a much changed state fair, and I think we could do better by sprucing up the grounds, sprucing up the buildings, getting some projects accomplished with the taxpayer money so that we're bigger and better next year.
After today's announcement, we did touch base with Ray Massey, the Director of Marketing and Sales at Metro Park. He says Montana Fair is still on, and today's announcement does not change that. Montana Fair is scheduled for August 7th through the 15th. And another event affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, the Tippett Rise Arts Center concert series held each year in Fishtail. Organizers canceled this fifth concert season due to health concerns, travel, and social distancing guidelines. Co-director of the Tippett Rise Arts Center, Pete Hinman, says the event usually brings 9,000 to 10,000 visitors a summer. Hinman also says trails in the area will be closed for the foreseeable future since travelers would still have to enter Tippett Rise before enjoying their hike. The owners say that they are still hoping to bring virtual concerts to everyone who would have attended, and Hinman says refunds will be issued for all ticket holders. All right, turning to a first look at weather now with Bob McGuire, and maybe nice out there in Billings, but we're seeing some thunderstorm warnings.
Yeah, not too far from here. Let me show you what's happening. We go to the map. Doppler radar shows you the big storms moving over in the Roundup area, just in Muscle County, came out of Rygate, and you'll notice we are looking at the possibility of some funnel clouds developing in that area. That we're not confirmed yet, but we can say that we do have at least a severe thunderstorm in that area. Well, when we show you what's happening there, you see we have severe thunderstorm warning until 10 o'clock tonight for Muscle County. That should be MUSSEL. Also, we do see also by Lewistown, that's another severe thunderstorm warning from Fergus County, looking at quarter-size hail in that area. We pull back a little farther, and we still have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock tonight for most of north central Montana tonight. And one other place over here in western Montana, that's a flood watch and flood warning over there by the Clark Fork River north of Missoula, and also south of Missoula, flood area that where a little heavy showers and thunderstorms continue to give us some problems in that area. It's causing all sorts of lowland flooding in that area. We'll have the rest of your forecast, though, coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Bob. Well, the coronavirus shelter-in-place policy has certainly put a strain on the local economy and people living throughout it. However, police in Butte also believe it's led to people drinking more, and as a result, driving when they shouldn't be. MTN's John Amy dives into the uptick in DUIs.
The coronavirus lockdown may be one of the reasons police in Butte are seeing more DUI arrests.
I think there is a tendency for people to maybe try to self-medicate, consume a little more alcohol. I don't think there's any question about that.
And many of these arrests involve people with higher than normal blood alcohol levels, and the arrests are occurring in the middle of the day.
It's rare to arrest somebody in the middle of the day for DUI. You know, we have those throughout the year, but it seems like there's an uptick.
Over the past few weeks, police have been making 2, sometimes 3 DUI arrests each day.
The folks who have had a few drinks are maybe calling attention to themselves more than they normally would have simply because the traffic's lighter.
And while people may be drinking more during this coronavirus, the sheriff says that's still not an excuse to drink and drive.
Cabs are still running. There's no reason, Uber's still running here. There's no reason you can't get a ride somewhere.
In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Well, just 2 weeks to go until Montana's June 2nd primary, so it's down to crunch time for the various campaigns. Tonight, Q2's Jay Cohn zeroes in on the Democratic race for governor between Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney and challenger Whitney Williams.
As of this morning, more than 120,000 Montanans have already voted and mailed back their ballots, so decision time is here. At the top of the Democratic ticket, the governor's race so far has been a light-hitting contest, but that's about to change. With the Emily's List Super PAC making a $700,000 ad buy this week in support of Williams, observers take that as a sign the race is tightening. Eric Fever with the Montana Public Employees Association supports Cooney, who he believes has the best chance of winning in November against likely GOP nominee Greg Gianforte. If Williams wins, he believes she'll face a big hill to climb come November. Aaron Murphy with the Montana League of Conservation Voters says both candidates are conservation champions. He's backing Williams, but his organization has not made an endorsement in the race.
Every time this state has been traveling in the right direction, Mike Cooney, as a public servant, has been in the cockpit. So his record is very strong, brings a lot of experience to the table. Whitney Williams, who I should note was our board vice chair before she stepped down to run for this position, also a strong conservation record, and brings a different perspective from a business point of view, and a lot of experience in Montana. So both of those folks, I think, are very strong contenders when it comes to the conservation side of things.
Veteran Democratic lawmaker Dave Wanzenreed, himself a past candidate for governor, is backing Cooney. He believes if Williams wins, her ties to Hillary Clinton could become a big distraction and focal point in the November general election. Both Fever and Wanzenreed say the new ad buy for Williams, focusing on her pledge to protect the Smith River, may be too late, especially given the large number of voters who have already cast ballots. Time will tell. Those ballots, by the way, are due back into your local election office no later than June 2nd. In Billings, I'm Jay Cohn reporting for MTN News.
And as the primary grows closer, the first big outside money spending is showing up in the race for governor. The Washington, D.C. based group Emily's List, which supports women candidates, has bought nearly $700,000 in broadcast and digital ads to support Democrat Whitney Williams. Williams is competing against Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney in the Democratic primary for governor, as we just showed you. The ad, which started airing in several urban markets today, focuses on Williams' opposition to the proposed Black Butte copper mine north of White Sulphur Springs. Emily's List says its independent expenditure arm, Women Vote, has paid for the ads to run until the June 2nd election day, the primary election, of course, an all-mail ballot. More than 120,000 people have already sent in their ballots. 3 Republicans are also running for Montana's open governor's seat. Well, the state Republican Party on Tuesday filed an ethics complaint against Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney, accusing him of violating state law by taking part in a campaign-related video conference call in his Capitol office. MTN News first reported on that call Monday after obtaining a screenshot of Cooney sitting in his office during the video conference with the Democratic Governors Association. Cooney's campaign says his opponent in the Democratic primary, Whitney Williams, also took part in the April 13th call that discussed the fall campaign against Republicans. They said he used a personal laptop during the call and called it an isolated incident. But the GOP complaint filed with the State Commissioner of Political Practices says Cooney broke the law that forbids the use of any public facility to promote a candidate for office. Now, Williams also criticized Cooney on Tuesday, saying his actions chip away at the public trust in government. The Cooney campaign said he conducts all fundraising activities and campaigning from his home or a private office. All right, still ahead on the MTN 9 o'clock news, a look at how COVID-19 has changed the course for expecting moms.